Another quote from that same guy, Ad Reinhardt, was, "Art is too serious to be taken seriously." I don't like people that try to read too much into what I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
I'm creating something for you to look at and say, hey, I like it or I don't like it.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Interest of the greater good for me to smoke a joint and calm down.
I am the greatest. He'll fall an eight to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking Jack, I'm going to cut it to 5.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Ville Chillin podcast. Today we have an artist with us, Steve Sprunger. Hope I'm saying that right.
You're fine.
And Dusty, of course, from Via Colori connected us, but I noticed that you do art in other festivals as well. So thank you for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
So to get started, I guess, how long have you been into art, or how long have you been doing art? And yeah.
I've been doing art most of my life. Chalk I've been doing for 19 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So what got you into chalk art?
We have a festival here I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And every July there's a festival downtown. When my youngest son was like 11, we were walking through and he said, "Dad, I'd like to try this." So we started, and now we've done it together for 19 years. Together but separate.
That's awesome. So it's kind of like a family thing, something that y'all do kind of
Yep.
together.
Then the festival was last weekend, and I got another one of my sons and one of my grandsons involved. So now I got 3 generations going.
I love that. And you said you've been doing it your whole life. Can you tell us a little bit about like that inspiration, like when you was younger?
Yeah, I think I picked it up from my dad. He was a pretty artistic kind of guy. And so it was something that I could do to keep myself busy and out of trouble. Got to remember, I'm old. I grew up in the 1970s when there was a lot of fun stuff going on. And my dad was a cop. So art helped me stay out of trouble.
That's awesome. When did you take classes or anything for it? Or I guess you just kind of just picked it up when you were younger and just kept doing it?
I'd taken one class, and that was to graduate from college. They said, "Oh, you got to take a fine arts class." And that was my last semester. I said, "Sign me up for watercolor painting."
Easy A.
Yep.
That's awesome. So that's a long time, especially the chalk art. Via Colori was the first time I had really heard about chalk art, at least festivals surrounding it, and that was last year. I had no idea there was so much chalk art going on. And I mean, you mentioned the Fort Wayne one, which you can see pictures of those on your Facebook as well.
Right.
How do you feel with doing the chalk art, knowing that you're going to create this crazy piece? You're going to spend hours on your hands and knees on asphalt, sweat through the sun and whatever else is going on, and it's going to be washed away.
That is the most common asked question. And the people that do chalk art, I mean, we know that going in. It's just one of those things. I create the art for the people that are at the festival, those 2 days. Come and enjoy it. It's going to be gone. The people that didn't come up, hey, you don't get to enjoy it. But yeah,
next year.
It's I know that we drove my grandson who drew his first one this year on Sunday. We drove through. That one's done on Main Street in Fort Wayne. I mean, right in front of the Museum of Art, busy street. We drove past it on Tuesday, and you could still see faint outlines of the artwork. But we know going in that it's only going to be there for a couple days, weather permitting, and it's just something that we accept. But you're right, hands and knees. It was 90 degrees this past weekend. I'm getting too old for this stuff. I told Dusty it's getting harder and harder to get up and down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we saw on your Facebook you made a post about it as well, not too long ago, about how
Yep.
it's starting to feel it a little more.
Yeah, and I've got some, developing a little bit of arthritis. So I told some of my friends online that this year I'm gonna try and concentrate on doing some lasting art, like the Chili piece. That's a watercolor painting, something that I can leave behind. I've done, let's see, I did one for May the 4th from Star Wars. That's a lasting piece. One hanging in the living room, but it's time to make some things that are going to be around after I can't do it anymore. Um, that's it's they keep moving the ground farther and farther away for me.
Yeah, and kudos to everybody who gets out there and does the chalk art. I can't imagine uh, just being out in the heat that long sounds rough enough, let alone crawling around on the hot concrete and making such fantastic art. Honestly, we loved your pieces from last year. I distinctly remember walking by them several times, the koi pond and the
Yeah.
beach, and I thought they were both really awesome.
So that koi pond was tough because that was on the Channel 11 Sunday News at 5 in the morning, and
It's
both
crazy.
Kayla and I were down there doing it. It was 43 degrees when we were out there,
Oh wow.
pitch, pitch black, cold, too early in the morning, and they didn't tell us beforehand how we were going to do it. We showed up and said, "Oh yeah, here's a space, just draw something."
Oh wow.
So there was no planning. It was just okay, draw something from the memory banks. What can I do quick? But it was cold and
I
yeah.
believe it. Yeah,
Now
that's
and now I
really
know
early.
I was a rookie too. You guys were rookies last year with Dusty. I was a rookie too. Now I know why I ended up on the news because everybody else had said, I ain't doing that."
Yeah, that's funny. We've heard a couple of stories about having to get up early and be there, whether it was from the Girl Scout side talking to like Tanya and then
Uh-huh.
Dusty and yeah, Kayla. We talked to Kayla before too, so I've definitely heard stories of both sides. Some people don't mind it too much, but I would be right there with you. It's too early, it's too cold, and
Early I could handle, but it was, I mean, 43 was awfully cold.
yeah. So how do you draw inspiration when you decide to do these pieces? I know of course, you said you did one for May the 4th. That's obviously a Star Wars theme, but when you're going to like these festivals like Via or, like on the news, how do you decide what you're going to do?
Well, V is nice because it's just there are no categories. It's just come and do something. So that one I can sit back. I've still got we've got 3 months to go until Via. So now I've got one more festival before that, but I'm starting to think ahead. It changes, between now and then I'll probably have 5 different ideas. Now, like the festival in Fort Wayne last weekend, they had 6 or 7 categories, and you draw something within that category. I
Okay.
did Sorcerer's Apprentice, Mickey Mouse. If you were dabbling on my Facebook page, you may have seen
Yep.
that one. But that one was in the category of favorite art genre, which was animation. Um, Favorite fantasy character, Mickey Mouse, and also the 3D effect. If you saw how it's really stretched out, but if you get to the right spot, it looks perfectly square.
Yeah. And
Those
I
are the
think
ones that those are the ones I really like doing, the optical illusions. The koi pond was kind of that way too. It looks like there's some real rocks there.
It was really cool, like the way you did the depth. It really did like pop out at you.
Yeah, and that's what I really find fascinating about the chalk art is when people do that. Like, depending on where you stand around it, sometimes it can change depending on how it's done. And I can't
Exactly.
imagine having that level of like creativity or perspective. You know what I mean? It's that's way beyond me, but I love seeing it. I think it's such an amazing talent.
I will probably this year at Via try and do a bigger scale 3D piece. Just because I
Awesome.
didn't do one last year. It was just a 2D flat beach scene. Um,
Which
that
still a
was to,
great.
that
The
pleased my wife. She's a beach person.
the chairs almost look 3D to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could see the start of like some 3D
Right.
going into the chairs. and then it kind of flattened out as it went, but it still looked amazing. I thought it was awesome.
Thank you.
Um, and so you mentioned doing the Mickey Mouse before, and talking to like Jeff before he started doing more like cartoon characters. Have you noticed
Mhm.
like you kind of do a lot of cartoon characters? I know it's big with the kids, so
Yeah, and I don't simply because I don't like necessarily copying somebody else's
okay,
work.
yeah,
You know, everybody recognizes the cartoon characters. Those are typically pictures that win a lot of stuff at festivals because the people coming through, they recognize it. But it's also very easy if you screw something up, everybody can say, "Oh, you screwed that up."
yeah, that makes
So I
sense.
I, I normally rely on creating something of my own.
Okay, that's awesome. Um, it sounds. I don't want to say more difficult. Just, I mean, it's a different style, but then it takes a lot of creativity. um,
Yeah, there are times when you sit back and you scratch your head and you come up, oh, I got this great idea. You work on it for a month, getting all the references down, and then you say, you know what, I don't like it, and then you have to start over.
no, see, I don't know if I have the patience for that. That would be tough for me. um, so moving kind of slightly to back to your Facebook. It looks like you have stickers, and on the sticker it says art is art, everything else is everything else, and I think that's a quote by
Correct.
Reinhardt. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
What does that mean to you, and what made you want to create a sticker of that?
Well, it's kind of a. I don't like people that try to read too much into what I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
I'm creating something for you to look at and say, hey, I like it or I don't like it. If you don't like it, move 5 feet to the side. There's somebody else there. You might like theirs.
Yep.
So art is art. Some people like it, some people won't. And I don't try to do too much. I'm trying not to be political. There are a lot of political things I could do. I'd be happy to do, but all it does is cause problems.
Right.
So I create something. If you like it, fine. If you don't like it, I don't really care. Move on.
Makes sense doing art for art's sake.
Another quote from that same guy, Ad Reinhardt, was art is too serious to be taken seriously.
Like that.
That is, yeah, I could see
So
that. That's very,
when I'm out there, I'm very passionate. I want to do a great job. I'm not in it especially in Fort Wayne where they have the categories now. A lot of times I won't even pick one of the categories. I'll just do something for myself. Um, I've as an artist, I've been doing art now for probably 40 years, 45 years, of some kind or another. And I think I've sold exactly 2 pieces. Um, I if it's something that's good enough that somebody wants to buy it, I probably want to keep it.
right.
Um, and I don't like doing commissioned work so much because then somebody else is telling you what you have to do. Yeah.
Kind of
Then
takes
it's
your
not
own
art anymore.
it takes your creativity out of it in a
Correct.
sense. That makes sense. Again, art for art's sake. Doing it just because it's what you want to do. That's the best reason, though, I would think.
Absolutely.
Takes all the pressure out of it from one sense. Um, awesome. So how did you first hear about Via Colori, and what made you want to sign up for Via specifically as an artist?
Um, I saw Via on Facebook. Um, just I'm in several chalk art groups, and somebody else had posted something about it. And I mean, Louisville's only a 4 hour, 4.5 hour drive from here. Um, so we drive down on Friday. Find out normally stay in Jeffersonville. Sorry, Louisville, but it's a little bit cheaper across the river.
Understandable.
But we'll stay Friday night, draw all day Saturday, spend the night again Saturday night, finish up on Sunday. Um, but I've wanted to get involved in more festivals, but I have a full-time job also, so it makes travel a little bit tougher. Um, the oldest festival in the United States is out in California, in Santa Barbara. goes back to like 1987 or 88, somewhere right around there. And I've been talking with one of the OGs of chalk art in the United States, and he's done that particular festival like 39 years now.
Wow.
But it's amazing. It's up in the high desert where it doesn't rain, so they can put something down, and 2 weeks later it's still there.
That's awesome.
But I'd love to be one of those kind of guys that could travel around. There are lots of festivals. I can't believe how many I found out about once I started looking. But they're all 2-day events, and I don't have enough vacation time built up that I can say, hey, this week I'm going to Minneapolis for a couple days, or I'm going to Pittsburgh. There's a big one in Pittsburgh. I'd love to, because that's where my company headquarters is. I'd love to have the CEO of my company be able to walk by and go, hey, that's us.
Yeah. I understand that. That would be really cool. It does make it tough though when you have full-time work and everything. I'm definitely amazed by the number of festivals that there are as well. I didn't know it went back that far too. So that's the oldest chalk art festival is the 80s. You said 84?
Yeah, mid 80s. Yeah, in the United States. Goes back several hundred years if you go over to Italy.
That's crazy to me. Just thinking that chalk art specifically is that big. I mean, obviously the paintings that last forever are big from wherever they're from, whether it's Italy, Spain, whoever. But for chalk art to really go back that far, it really shows a passion for the art that it's persisted that long. Because since the pieces don't last that long, I mean, now I guess we're fortunate enough we have cameras, we have cell phones or whatever you can kind of preserve its essence,
right?
In a sense.
And it all started, back in it's like the 1600s. In Italy, there were artists who would do religious drawings for the poor people who couldn't afford to own the art. So they'd be out on the streets outside of cathedrals and stuff doing Madonnas and things like that on the pavement for the poor people to look at.
Okay.
So from there, it's kind of migrated, and we don't just do religious art anymore. Now it's kind of like there are some artists that are just absolutely phenomenal. I can't believe how good they are. When you get down on your hands and knees on a street and look at how rough the cement is.
Yep.
To be able to get smooth blends and to make something look good. Little things like even a gentle breeze blows your chalk powder away. So it's hard to keep things looking good for even the 2 days of a festival.
So Louisville's probably really a challenge sometimes because it's right down there on the river. So.
On the river, yeah. Yep, it was. There were some challenges last year.
Well, we're glad you're going back.
I'll be better prepared this year.
Yeah, we can't wait to see what you have going this year. I love being able to talk to people, learn a little bit about the artists, and then see what they kind of come up with. So it's been fun.
Hopefully it'll be big.
And that's awesome to learn about as many chalk artists as we've talked to. That's the first time I've really learned a little bit about the history of chalk art. Like that's really cool to think about it as like something for people, people that couldn't afford going, to cathedrals or like museums and things like that.
Right.
It was just there for them. That's awesome. And it is now too. It's free, Via is free, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Dusty does a fantastic job with this.
She's amazing.
Awesome.
Her organization of this event, it was phenomenal. It's the one up here is sponsored by the Museum of Art, and the staff of the museum does it. Got to remember, Dusty's got a full-time job too, and it's not chalk.
Yeah.
And I follow her on Facebook too. Her her fostering and everything that she does. I don't see how she has time to put this event together.
I agree.
And yet it's the best organized one I've been to.
That's awesome to hear. That's not something I would have even really thought to ask, like how it would compare to other festivals in that sense. But yeah, Dusty's been phenomenal. She's been so great to work with from the first time she emailed us to even start doing this kind of stuff, to just help kind of get the story behind the festival. And I don't see how she does it either. Like It's a lot.
She's got a good bunch of volunteers too, Tanya
Oh yeah,
and the other volunteers. But once again, these people are all Girl Scout people. They're not artists. They're not,
most
you
of
know,
them. Yeah.
that the least they could do though is bring us some cookies.
Yes, yes. Which I didn't even realize until recently. I think I saw it on Facebook. A lot of those Girl Scout cookies are made in Louisville. I
Are they
didn't know
really?
that. Yeah, the factory that makes them is in Louisville, or at least one of them. So,
Oh wow!
fun
I
fact
forget,
there.
have to get some down there while they're fresh.
Right, right.
Yes. So one thing that we thought was really cool from last year, talking about random things Dusty pulls in, was that Detroit marching band. We
Yep.
saw you kind of had front row seats to it. You were right down there on the river as they went through.
Absolutely, absolutely. They were very fun.
Yeah.
I've stayed in touch with them. I've talked to them a couple times in the year since then. But yeah, they were a lot of fun.
Yeah, we thought that was awesome. We were up on the walking bridge, or at least walking up there when it started, I think.
Uh-huh.
And so we kind of caught an overhead view, but I mean, you could definitely hear everything. But having a front row seat just seems like it would have felt even different. But
Yeah, when they were standing right behind me playing, and I'm going, "Wow, this is first of all you're loud, but
definitely
they were
loud.
fun." There's a song on the music loop at work. Um, How Dare You Want More by Bleachers.
Okay.
And it sounds it
Yeah.
kind of stops and starts, and it sounded a lot, it reminded me a lot of that band. But yeah, they were all real cool. They stood around talking for a while, after they got done playing. um Whoever was supposed to be drawing on the square that they were sponsoring didn't show up.
Oh no.
So at the last minute, they came over and said, "Hey, can we slap their name? It's on that picture right there. Can we slap
Oh,
their
okay.
name on your square?" I said, "I don't care. I'm here to draw. I don't, the little paper stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
fine." So they stood around and talked with me for a little while after they were done, because technically, they sponsored my square. And like I said, stayed in touch with a couple of them afterwards, for a couple months, and shot some emails back and forth.
That's awesome. Yeah, they seemed really cool. I know they went from Via Colori over to the skate park in downtown Louisville and ended up playing like a little concert there too.
Oh, cool.
So they went all over the place.
Oh yeah, I was watching one of your other podcasts the other night, and you said about them breaking a table or something
Yeah, somebody,
at the
one of
concert.
the, yeah,
Yep.
one of the people at the concert broke a table while they were playing.
At the skate park, yeah.
Yeah,
it was
at the
wild.
skate park. But yeah, it was awesome. It was really cool to see that come to fruition. Uh, Dusty, I'm sure, has something up her sleeve this year. I can't wait to see what it is, what it's going to be this time. Which she did tell us to make sure to tell you that there's going to be stickers this year.
Yes, I keep all of my supplies in a big Stanley rolling toolbox,
Okay,
and
Nice.
it's covered with stickers now.
awesome.
So, in the past, I guess they had T-shirts and stuff. T-shirts are nice, but I'm getting old enough where I just soon have a sticker. So she said, "We'll have stickers," and I sent her one of mine. I sent her one of mine ahead of time. So it's a lot of fun. Like I said,
Yeah.
she's a great lady. Um, Last year was my first year, but she treated me like I'd been there every year that they've been around. It's amazing.
She always says once you're in, you're pretty much family. So, and you get treated like family. That's what it's felt like to us.
First
at
year it
least.
felt the same, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt family.
So I know before we were kind of talking, we have the chili piece, the one that's coming up right now.
Yep.
You said you do chili too. What? So you make like chili, or
Yes.
you're into
yes.
like peppers or
Competition chili.
competition chili? Awesome. We love chili. We're fanatics.
Is it about heat or flavor or
I can make it any way you want it. If you want it really spicy, I can do that. All because I use all fresh ingredients. I can just cut back on the number of peppers I put in and make it milder. It's one of those things. kind of know the audience that you're cooking for. If I'm cooking for my wife and grandkids, I make it a little bit milder. If I'm just cooking for my sons, and then I can throw in a few extra and make it a little bit hotter. But hang on here. Let's see. I don't know if I can get up there. There's up there are all my chili awards.
Oh, awesome.
Wow.
And the world famous the Chicago Cubs. And then I have all of my chalk pieces that I've done at festivals. I've got 8x10s hanging on
that's
the wall
awesome.
in my den.
I recognize a couple of those from your Facebook, like the butterfly,
Yeah,
especially.
Crazy.
There's my Jimmy Buffett's the one I'm proud of.
That's awesome.
That was done 2 months after Jimmy Buffett died. So I tried to get all of the stuff in there. There's a cheeseburger and a margarita and flip flops and pop top and a parrot and all the good stuff and the coordinates to Key West.
Awesome.
That was done. That was a 5-hour draw at a small festival.
Oh. Again, you think about most art, and on canvas you kind of have time, like if you can kind of put it down, pick it up, but when you're at a festival, especially doing chalk, you're on the asphalt for like 5 hours at a time. I really commend all of the artists for that.
5, that's lunchtime.
More, yeah. And more, that's wild to me.
That
Last
chili can
Saturday,
help kill the burn.
the forecast was for thunderstorms in the afternoon. So we got down there and we started drawing. We were all set, ready to, we carried plastic and Gorilla Tape to cover it. And started at 8 in the morning, drew until 5 in the afternoon. And they kept saying, oh, it's imminent. It's going to be hit within the next 15, 20 minutes. So we covered everything up, went home for the night, not a drop.
Wow.
And then went back Sunday morning at 8 and started up and did it for another 6 hours. So all in all, it's 8 to 5 is 9 hours there, and then another 6 hours, so 15 hours on the Mickey Mouse piece.
That's amazing. That's dedication, and again, that's art for art's sake. Art is art. So
yep.
I love that. I love the mentality behind it. And again, everything I've seen, I really like that. It's multi-generational for you too. We saw on your Facebook that your son did a piece recently. It looked like for church or something in front of church.
Earlier
I think
this
it was
year.
on the Facebook earlier this year.
Was that last year? Was it 24 or 25?
I'm not sure.
I did one in front of the cathedral in Indianapolis. But I have one son who is big into new school art, like new school tattoos.
Oh, nice.
And he's won awards at the Fort Wayne Festival. This year he didn't win, but prior to that, 3 years in a row doing new school.
That's awesome.
Trying to remind him that he's got to do things other than new school. He's done some really quality work in the past. We've collaborated on a couple. My grandson did Pokemon, and then my oldest son, this was his first year, and he did a Keith Haring piece. If you're not familiar, Keith Haring does some pop art, and my son just replicated one of his. So we had 4 artists going at one time over 3 generations, and look to keep it going again next year.
So awesome. Beautiful. Such a great way for y'all, combine.
It's a bonding time. Yeah, definitely. Bonding time.
That's definitely fantastic. It's been awesome to kind of learn more about your story. Is there anything? I don't have anything else I wanted to ask. Did you have anything, Jack?
No, we just really appreciate it.
Is there anything else specific you wanted to share? I know people are obviously going to be able to find you at Via. And then I guess we have your Facebook. We'll put in the description as well.
Sure. But yeah, it's come down to the riverfront. It's such a great experience. From the quality of the art. I mean, you've got everything from little kids, brownies and Girl Scouts all the way up to professional artists. I'm far from a professional. Like I said, this is just a hobby of mine. But I know that Kayla that was down there as the featured artist last year. She's a professional artist. There's another guy who should be up from Florida this year. He's a professional artist, Brian. So we've got a little bit of everything, and it's just a wonderful time. Well organized, lots to do. People come around, look at the art, but there's a lot of other things to do besides look at the chalk. There were vendors and food trucks, music, all
Did you
kinds
get
of good
to try the
stuff. A good way to
Spinellis?
spend 2 days.
Did you get to try the Spinellis pizza?
No, I did not.
It's from
That's
Philly.
one thing during festivals. I tend not to eat very much because on the hands and knees, and especially like this weekend when it was hot, I went 2 days and ate a grand total of 2 hot dogs. That was it for 2 days.
Wow.
Well, if you get if you get a
But they
few-
had cotton candy that was phenomenal. I hope they're back this year.
yes.
Yeah, that was, I mean, all the vendors is amazing. One part that we really loved about it was the music, the live music they had, especially getting kids involved in that. It's such a awesome way to involve youth from multiple different aspects, from art to, kind of volunteering to help run the games to the music and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, where I was drawing clear down by the river, I was pretty far away from the music stage
Oh yeah.
for the bands. But like I said, it did have the Detroit band right there, 5 feet away from me. But that whole venue, the riverfront is really nice. Fort Wayne is developing their riverfront kind of the same way, but that Big Four bridge is amazing.
Yeah.
The first morning there was fog, and it looked like a bridge to nowhere. It just went into the fog and disappeared. So
Fun to go
Kentucky's
up
not
there
one of my
and-
favorite places simply because I'm an IU fan. Lexington's okay, or Louisville's okay. Lexington I won't go to, but that is a
Understandable.
beautiful park right there along the river. It was just
Yeah.
gorgeous the whole time.
Yeah, the Big Four Bridge is really fun too, to just kind of walk up on and be able to see everything from above. The whole, you
Yep.
can kind of see the whole festival.
I've got those pictures. I went up on the bridge and shot down on top of everything. So yeah, it was really cool.
And a lot of it was really cool to see so many activities for the kids too, from the STEM zone, the bubbles. The guy with the bubbles was a huge hit.
The guy with the bubbles
kids.
he was great. I did see him.
Who's the star?
Yeah, my daughter loved the bubbles. And then the bounce house they had, it was really cool.
Yep, like I said, it's for a free event. It was. I mean, it's one of the best I've seen.
And it goes to a great cause too. I mean, all
It
of
does,
the money raised from sponsors and everything else, from vendors, spots, and everything, goes to help Girl Scouts, help finance camp fees for Girl Scouts, and help facilitate other events for them to do and continue learning and all that stuff. So it's really awesome.
Well, I will continue as long as my body holds out. I will continue to try and make that trip down every year. Like I said, it's one of the best I've been to.
We definitely look forward to it. October 18th and 19th. We'll definitely keep an eye out for you.
Absolutely.
We show up both days. I liked seeing the progress over the couple of days, kind of walking by every so often and just seeing how far things come. So we'll definitely stop by and say hey, and we can't wait to see you there.
All righty. Look forward to it.
All right. Thanks again for joining us today, and
You
we'll catch
bet.
everybody next time.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Interest of the greater good for me to smoke a joint and calm down.
I am the greatest. He'll fall an ace to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking jive, I'm going to cut it to 5.